Samaras. We're very fortunate to have association. Thank you, Prabhu, for your valuable time. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo cha pattanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining this morning session. Sunday morning session, especially Sundays are busy for us, but you still joined, and it is grateful to be here. And thanks to Krishna Namanda Prabhu for asking me to speak on Narsimha Leela today, especially killing of Hiranyakashipu. So I will share what I know a little bit, what I heard from here and there, from the gurus, from Srila Prabhupada, from Srimad Bhagavatam, and a little bit from Narsimha Purana. Okay, so just to start this session, I want to start with prayers, right? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashta Prayesho Badresho Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So for this session, I just want to share my screen and recite this verse. Okay, sure. Can you please repeat after me? This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 1, Text 1. Okay. Sri Rajo Vacha.
Sri Rajo Vacha.
Tamah Priya Shuhid Brahman.
Tamah Priya Suhrud Brahman.
Bhutanam Bhagavan Swayam.
Bhutaram Bhagavan Swayam.
Indrashyarthe Katam Dhaityan.
Indrasyarde Kadam Daityan.
Avadhi Dvishamo Yatha.
Avadhi Dvishamo Yata.
Sri Raja Uvacha. Maharaj Parikshit said, Sama equal, Priya beloved, Suhrit friend, Brahman O Brahmana, Sukadeva, Bhutanam toward all living entities, Bhagavan the Supreme Lord Vishnu, Swayam himself, Indrasya of Indra, Arthe for the benefit, Katham how, Daityan the demons, Avadhit killed, Vishamaha partial, Yatha as if. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. King Parikshit inquired, my dear Brahmana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, being everyone's well-wisher, is equal and extremely dear to everyone. How then did he become partial like a common man for the sake of Indra and thus kill Indra's enemies? How can a person equal to everyone be partial to some and inimical toward others? So this was the question raised by Parikshit Maharaj to Sukadeva Goswami while this Bhagavatam recitation was going on for 7 days, right? His question was, if you see from one side, right, Vishnu or Krishna is equal to everyone. He's equipoised. He has no duality. He's not partial to anyone. But Parikshit Maharaj is asking a question like, how come whenever we see Vishnu always kills the demons to protect Indra or to protect Indra or the demigods? So does it look like he's not envious of anyone? He doesn't have enmity with anyone. But how can a Krishna, a personality like Krishna himself, can become can be biased in these situations where he's protecting Indra, but he's not protecting the demons, or he's always fighting with the demons. He's always killing the demons. So that is the question raised by Parikshit Maharaj. And for this one question, the whole next, actually the whole canto, and specifically next 10 chapters, Sukadeva Goswami gives a description of what happened and how this is corrected, how it is true or not true. So what do you think? So Krishna is partial? Does anyone has anything to say about it? Krishna is non-envious. He is not partial, they say. But why is he supporting Indra all the time? Did we ever got this question? Do you all agree with me? Okay, let's see. Sachi Mata Devi, what do you think?
Prabhuji, I just joined, and what was the question? Sorry.
Question is like Parikshit Maharaj is asking Sukadeva Goswami. Krishna on one side, we see he's non-envious, he has no enemies at all, and he's not envious about anyone, and he's equal to everyone, right? According that is the personality of Krishna. But when it comes to Indra, it looks like he always protects Indra, and he fights against the demons who are fighting against Indra. He supports Indra, and he's fighting with demons. So my question here is like, is Krishna partial really or not? Do you think, like, what is your opinion about that? Is Krishna
partial?
Yes. Or is he biased to Indra?
I'm not sure, Prabhuji. I'm not sure. There has to be some reason behind it, but I'm not sure. Sorry.
Very nice, Mataji. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for the participation. So basically, Parikshit Maharaj is asking this question.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Can I add here something, Prabhuji?
Sure, please. Yeah, this is
I
open.
remember Lal Govind Prabhuji Katha Prabhu on that the point. So Lal Govind Prabhu says, even Krishna says Bhagavat Gita, like all are equal to me, but only who remember me, I remember them. So and second, Lal Govind Prabhu says that because the quality of Indra did so many mistakes, only he has one quality. He just opening his mouth and accepting his mistake. And Krishna like that if you made a mistake, but just open it, like don't keep it in heart, and then a pardon, ask the Krishna. Krishna is so merciful, he give you the pardon. That Indra has a quality.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Yeah, that's ultimatum. But here Sukadeva Goswami quotes about a story, what happened in Rajasuya Yagna. Okay. In Rajasuya Yagna, while everyone was watching, the soul, when Krishna killed Shishupal, the soul of Shishupal has transmigrated from the body of Shishupal, and it entered into the Lord's body. It just mixed with the Lord's body. It just entered the Lord's body. Shayujya Mukti. That is called as you enter the Lord's form. So that Mukti Shishupal got. Why? That is a question Yudhishthira asked with Narada Muni. So if you see right, Shishupal is blaspheming left and right continuously to Lord, like, calling him the womanizer, a lot of very, very, like, degraded words he was using to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then, but when he killed, that soul went and entered the body of the Lord himself. Now Yudhishthira asked the question that, he blasphemed so much, but how can the body entered the Lord? So Narada Muni explains that Krishna is not partial, he's impartial. Even though from the outer looks, we may feel that he is supporting Indra, he's supporting the demigods, and he's fighting against the demons. But in reality, the favor he's doing to the demons is much better than the favor he's doing to Indra. Like for example, Maharaj gives a quote that if someone you go slap someone and say, okay, I slapped you, I'll give my apartment keys, go and stay in my apartment. Do you do that? You slapped. So this is what Krishna is saying. Krishna is saying that he kills, but he's giving his own abode, which is not possible to achieve for anyone else. So that is the quality. He's impartial, completely impartial to all of them. But according to our Prabhu's point, the point is like Krishna is impartial. He says that completely impartial, but I am inclined towards my devotion. If there is some devotee who is performing devotional activities, I am inclined. Like, for example, I am impartial. I am not making any difference between anyone. Like certain, for example, our children only. Let's say there are 3 children in your house, right? And one child doesn't even obey you. Do you hate him as a parent? No, we don't hate him as a parent, right? All 3 of them are same for us. But if one child is obeying out of those 3 and 2 are not obeying, But when the child is obeying you, you have some inclination towards that child, because he's obeying you, because he knows he's respecting you, he's talking to you nicely. So that's why you have that inclination. That inclination is there, but you are not partial to him. You are impartial to all the three. You see all three of them as your children equally. But if someone is like a devotee, Lord has that inclination towards them. He takes care of them. He gives that protection to them. He makes sure that they go back. So that is the point here. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji, for participating. Thank you, Sachimataji, for participating in this one. So now, this question invoked a big conversation of Leela of Nrsingadev, right? So Narada Muni tells about this. Narada Muni says that even though, right. So Shishupal, even though he entered, Krishna is impartial. That's why he made, or he gave his own abode, his own body as an abode for Shishupal, even though he was very rude, or was behaving rudely with Lord himself. So that is the first point I want to mention here. And from here takes up, and Yudhishthira asks about a question like, why Shishupal took this birth? Then Narada Muni explains about Jaya and Vijaya, and how the Jaya and Vijaya got curse from the Brahmanas, and they came down as these demons. And he talks about Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, and he talks about Ravan and Kumbhakarna and Shishupal and Dantavakra. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj asks a question about, okay, please explain me in more detail about Hiranyakashipu and Narasimha avatar. Okay, so this is the foundation for our discussion, today's discussion, devotees. So we just gave some background. We talked about how this story in Srimad Bhagavatam came up, right? And now let's go in detail. So last Sunday, we spoke, or we discussed about this same Narasimha Leela. So I will try to minimize whatever we have covered in the last Sunday's class, and try to include or learn more things, or learn new things, or learn the things which we haven't discussed on last Sunday's class. Okay, so if you want more details of what we have missed today, you can go back and listen to the class in the YouTube. Okay, that's one thing. Now there is a message. Okay, so now where to start? So Hiranyakashipu got all the powers from Brahmaji. He got boons. What are the boons he got? That he cannot be killed by anything that was created by Brahmaji. First, right? The second thing is, like, he cannot killed by the humans, beasts, any other denizens of these planets, of this material world, any lower planet, lower born, like, the Rakshasas or Rakshas or Gandharvas or Kinnaras, any other living beings, they cannot kill him. He cannot be killed inside or outside, or indoor or outdoor. He cannot be killed in the sky or on the earth. Okay, he cannot be killed by the snakes or any poisonous, venomous beings. So those are the boons he got. When he got that, he got very arrogant, and he went back. And we talked that he went back and got to know that Prahlad Maharaj was born for him, right? Mother Khayadu gave birth to Prahlad Maharaj. With so much affection, he brought Prahlad Maharaj, and he sent Prahlad Maharaj to a Gurukul, which was, the teachers were Shand and Amark. They're the sons of Shukracharya. Shukracharya was in a different mission, and he went for some other austerities. Then Shukracharya himself was not available. The guru of Rakshasas. He himself, the lead guru. Remember, Hiranyakashipu is the emperor, right? So he was looking for the best. Then Shukracharya was not available because of his own personal austerities. Then these Shand and Amark are the sons of Shukracharya. So he thought they may be qualified, and he sent Prahlad Maharaj to that gurus, expecting him to teach the enjoyment of this material world, how to take the pleasure in this material world. That's what he wanted to teach. Hiranyakashipu wanted gurus to teach him. But as I said, Narada Muni had um, Prahlad had an association with Narada Muni while he was in the womb of his mother. His mother was protected by Narada Muni from the hands of Indra and other demigods. And Narada Muni took Kayadu to his ashram. Okay. So now the point is like this devotee, Narada Muni, let's see the characteristics of Narada Muni. A devotee whose mercy can give the darshan of the Lord himself. If you think Dhruva Maharaj, right? When Dhruva Maharaj was about to leave his kingdom, okay, this is from Satyuga. When Dhruva Maharaj was about to leave his kingdom, because of anger, because of that, because what he has faced with his father, that his father Uttanapad was not allowing him to sit on his lap, he got very angry and he moved out. And his stepmother Suruchi mentioned that if you really want to sit on the lap of your father, go and pray to Vishnu. So that even though she was cursing him, but he took it as a main thing. And the same thing his mother also encouraged. Okay, so Suniti mentioned that, look, I also heard that the devotees, they go to the forests to achieve Vishnu. So please go, and the supreme person or supreme father of all of us is Vishnu. So please go. So when this Dhruva Maharaj was, the only thing he knew was he wanted to have a bigger kingdom than his great grandfather, that is Brahmaji. That was the desire he had. And the second thing he knew was to approach Vishnu. These are the two things he knew. And he was walking, he doesn't know where he was walking. But by the mercy, wherever there is a desire to meet Lord, or whenever there is a desire to approach the devotional service or devotional path, Narada Muni senses it and he appears there. That is the best quality of Narada Muni. We see it time and again in different examples. You take any example of devotees of Lord Vishnu, mostly Narada Muni's influence is there. Narada Muni's mercy, Narada Muni's blessings are there. So similarly here, when Prahlad Maharaj was small little boy, Narada Muni has blessed him already. Narada Muni has the association of Narada Muni, especially while he was in the womb of his mother, the Katha, the stories, the information, the glories of the Lord he heard from Narada Muni was etched in his mind, and he was always meditating upon the Lord. And when Hiranyakashipu, one day, when Prahlad Maharaj came to the kingdom, Hiranyakashipu was roaming around. This is from Narsimha Purana. When Hiranyakashipu was roaming around with the other women, and he saw his son Prahlad Maharaj, and Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu approached Prahlad Maharaj and asked him, your mother says you are a very nice child, right? Tell me what you learned from your school. Then he says that before we chat or before we talk about anything, we should pray to or remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we get the knowledge and intelligence, so we can do the better things. So this one statement irritates Hiranyakashipu, because Hiranyakashipu, after getting all the power, all the boons, he had changed the entire material world, the functioning of the entire material world. Please remember, Hiranyakashipu has controlled the seasons. He says that I want rain 24/7 on these days. Means the rain, Varuna has to come and he has to pour the rain. Indra was scared of Hiranyakashipu. All the demigods were scared of Hiranyakashipu. Right now, the earth, he was threatening to give the grains 24, throughout the year. That means there is no drought, there is no famine. So that was the conditions he applied. He changed the system. See, there is a system in 12 months, 4 months should be the rainy season, and other 4 months there are different seasons, right? But he changed the system, the functioning of the system of the Lord, because he wanted to change. He wanted to have a system which is completely opposite of what Lord Vishnu has created or Lord Brahma has created. So he didn't want that system to be existing at all. So he changed, and he changed according to his wishes. He changed according to the material pleasures. The pleasure it's like a greediness to the it's like the height of greediness. You just some people in this world also, we see that, right? This is material world, Kali Yuga. We see that there is some, you get something from someone else, that's okay, but you go deep and try to you get so greedy to completely like squeeze whatever you get from the other person. That is not acceptable. That is not a good thing to do, right? Actually expecting anything from mothers itself is a problem, but some people go deep and they just squeeze as much as possible to get from them. So that is what Hiranyakashipu was trying to do. He wanted to have pleasure, and he wanted to give the same pleasure to all the living entities on this material planet with himself. And he stopped the yagnas. Yagnas are the main thing for the demigods to survive, right? The yagna, whatever we give, that yagna we perform to Lord Vishnu. The yagna, the beneficiary, the enjoyer of that sacrifice, or the fire sacrifice, or the yagna, is Lord Vishnu himself. And Lord Vishnu distributes whatever it has been given by the devotees to all the demigods. So that is what Indra prays at the end. We'll talk about that. But that yagna, the benefits of the yagna, the enjoyer of the yagna is Lord Vishnu. So he stopped it. He said that no one will perform yagna to Lord Vishnu. And he changed the mantras. He said that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you just have to chant my names. So those are the atrocities he has inflicted on this material world, material people. They have no freedom. They have no right to say. They don't have a right to worship their own gods or their own Vishnu. So this is what Hiranyakashipu has created. Now, that person, if he hears the same thing from his son, like the similar thing from his son, that we have to pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because the intelligence and the freedom and the right to speak at the right time, right words to speak at the right time comes from the Lord. He got very much irritated. Hiranyakashipu got terrified with this to hear that words from his own son. The whole universe is following him except his son. Then that anger, it says that in Narsimha Purana, that anger was there, but he just controlled it because he's his son, right? Finally, he's his son. Ultimately, he's his own son. So he didn't want to show that. He laughed at it, and he called his teachers, and he blasphemed his teachers, saying that, what are you teaching my son? He's talking about Supreme Personality of Godhead and Vishnu and this, my enemy. So they said, no, we are not teaching it, but we'll make sure that there is no one who is teaching him and all those things. And they take Prahlad Maharaj back to the ashram. In the ashram, in the Gurukul, Prahlad Maharaj started speaking about Lord Vishnu. That is the quality of a devotee. Whenever a devotee is there, devotee, what they do is like they talk about Lord Vishnu all the time, right? It's not they're trying to force upon others. It's that's the nature of them. Why? Because they have seen or they have experienced that bliss in talking about Krishna. Tushyanticha Ramanticha. Lord Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita that my devotees, they always think about me, and they discuss about the stories or the leelas or the pastimes of me. And while discussing, what they do, they get satisfaction and they get enjoyment. They have this both. They enjoy. It's not that it is forcefully they're saying it, or they're saying because to impress someone else, but because they enjoy it, because they have that satisfaction, they experience that pleasure of satisfaction. So what they do is like they talk about the Krishna Katha. So same thing with Prahlad Maharaj. He started speaking about Krishna Katha, the glories of Lord Vishnu, to his devotees, to his friends, the Rakshasa friends. And these Rakshasa friends also, whenever who will not accept the glories, or who will not enjoy the pleasure of the glories of Lord Vishnu himself, right? So this is what is happening. Now all the demon childs, they all started chanting mantras of Vishnu. Then Chanda and Amar got perturbed. I mean, they got scared now, because Already Hiranyakashipu has warned them not to get him associated with any devotees or any of these anything related to Lord Vishnu. But they saw that he's speaking about Lord Vishnu is changing all other demon children. So they went back and reported to Hiranyakashipu that this is what is happening. Your child is completely spoiling the culture of this Gurukula. They're talking about Vishnu all the time. Then Hiranyakashipu ordered to bring Prahlad Maharaj to him. And Prahlad Maharaj, when he came, Hiranyakashipu said, "Now, why are you acting against me? I am your father, right? And I have told you that worship of Vishnu is not permitted in my kingdom. And why are you just acting against me? What kind of, how do you get that strength, right? How do you get that strength to discuss about the Lord Vishnu? Like, how do you get that strength, not strength? How are you so bold? Now, what makes you think like, in front of me, I am the emperor, the whole universe shivers. It uses the word shivers, right? Demigod shivers just by the Vishnu's lifting the left eyebrow. Just by Hiranyakashipu's eyebrow. When the Hiranyakashipu's eyebrow rises, the whole demigods, including Indra, they get shivered. They just bow down their heads in front of him. They don't look into the eye of Hiranyakashipu. So that is the condition of the demigods. Then what are you? You are just a child. You are my son. Why are you doing that? He says that, see, Vishnu is the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is Godhead of everyone. It's not like you're proclaiming yourself, but Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This enrages Hiranyakashipu, and he orders soldiers to take him away and kill him. Okay, so kill him, that small little boy. But soldiers, it's an order from the emperor, Hiranyakashipu. So they start. Narsimha Purana mentions that they start slapping him, and they start slapping him, and they wanted to use their weapons to kill him. But the protection of Lord Vishnu is so much on that Prahlad Maharaj that nothing affects this material body of Prahlad Maharaj. Nothing affects him. No injury happens to Prahlad Maharaj because of that beating or because of that using of the weapons. So they thought, okay, let us take him to the cliff of the mountain and throw him from there. So they tried to throw him from the cliff. They put him into the poisonous snakes. They try to trample him under the elephants. So nothing works. Nothing works because Vishnu was protecting him, because his faith in Lord Vishnu is so much that Lord had to come down to protect him. Vishnu has provided the kavacha. The word used in Narsimha Purana is kavacha. Narayana kavacha is so strong that nothing was affecting him anyway. So finally, Hiranyakashipu calls him in to the palace and talks to him about why it is. Basically the same question. And Prahlad Maharaj mentions that the strength in me is because of the strength in you also. And for all of us to have that strength we all are living here, and we have the strength because of the super soul what we have in our body, in material body. So Hiranyakashipu asks the next question. Okay, where is that super soul? Like, do you have your like the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of super soul is residing in our bodies? That's why we get that strength. Then Hiranyakashipu asks that, okay, so you say that your Lord is everywhere. Can I see him in this pillar? Hiranyakashipu says yes. Prahlad Maharaj says yes, he is everywhere. Then he must be in the pillar also. So Hiranyakashipu breaks the pillar. He blows the pillar with the fist. His fist, he just bangs the pillar with the fist. And Lord Narsimhadev appears from that pillar. There was a big sound, and after the sound, It was all effulgent, right? You see, when you have a high intensity light, uh, forget about high intensity light. When you have the phone, when you use the phone at night in dark, when the phone is on high, high brightness, our eyes get little dark. In a similar way, it is a small thing. I'm giving an example. The think about Narsinghadev coming and the effulgence the Lord carries, right? The effulgence Lord carries. It says that when this world was, when the beginning of the day of Brahma, this world is all darkness. And Mahavishnu, he transforms and comes down into this material world as Garbhodakashayi Vishnu. When he comes down as that Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, the light that creates, the effulgence of that Vishnu illuminates the whole creation or the whole material world. You know what I mean? So now Narsinghadev is appeared, and think about the effulgence that was coming up, and it blinded Hiranyakashipu for some time, and he cleared his eyes, and he checked what he started observing this personality, and he was trying to see what is this, right? It explains that Lord Narsinghdev's mane was shining. No, he was a half lion, half man. He had a lion face, and the bottom part is a human body, right? And he had the mane of the lion. That mane was shining, right? His eyes were red, and his teeth were the word they use I forgot, but his teeth were strong, and his tongue was razor sharp. It was like the tongue was moving as if when you fight with a sword, right? When you fight with the sword, you move the sword. In similar way, his tongue was razor sharp, and it was moving like up and down, and ready to attack. And his nails were strong like mountain edges, right? And his chest was broad. That is the explanation given, and he was shining. Now, that is the appearance of Lord Narsimhadev. Think about Hiranyakashipu's position. He had never seen such a form before. For a few seconds, the whole 8.4 million species that were in this creation that went through his mind. Like that 8.4 million, let's say he was trying to compare, what is this? He was trying to correlate what he's seeing and what he has seen before. So this 8.4 million species reeled in his mind of quickly within few seconds, and he could not relate. There was nothing like this before. That is Narsimhadev. When the boons were bestowed upon Hiranyakashipu, he felt so arrogant. He got so much arrogance because he thought that he has asked for anything, anything that was created by Brahma cannot kill him. That was a boon he asked. So now he's trying to see, he tried to see, maybe Brahma just deceived me, let me see. And he was trying to reel, and the 8.4 million species he checked, nothing was matching with what he's seeing now. Nothing was matching. Then he saw, then he realized, oh, this is Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. That is what my son was mentioning, right? He says that my Lord lives everywhere. Now, if we go back and see, just one step back and think about why Lord Nrsimhadev appeared there. Okay, is it because he always lives in the column or in the pillars? No. He appeared because Prahlad Maharaj said one thing, that yes, my Lord is there. He wanted to prove his devotee right. It's very important point to understand, my devotees here, that think just because his dear devotee Prahlad Maharaj gave a word that my Lord lives here, Prahlad Maharaj was not lying in the one way. If you see each and every atom, the super soul is living, right? If there is a table, the table has a form because that atom has a super soul. Anything to take a form, Lord should be present in there. Okay, if there is a water, the atom of the waters have super soul in there, or the Lord living in there. Without the Lord, there is no shape or form or anything doesn't exist in this material world without the Lord. Meaning, to the level of atom, Lord is there. And that's what Prahlad Maharaj was saying. Prahlad Maharaj was saying that my Lord is everywhere, in everyone. So if you ask the column, forget about this column or the pillar. The whole universe is full of my Lord in the form of super soul. But he didn't say that. Now, because Prahlad Maharaj has said it, and because Hiranyakashipu should not feel that his son has lied. His son didn't lie. Prahlad Maharaj didn't lie. The devotee of the Lord never lies. So the devotee of the Lord didn't lie, but just because to prove, because Lord doesn't want Hiranyakashipu to think that his son has lied, Lord appeared there to prove that devotees are always right. He appeared there in that form, and now Hiranyakashipu understood, oh, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that he started, the moment he understood that it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he started running with his club to attack. He was attacking left and right at the bottom because he was like a little bee in front of a big, huge structure. Nrsimhadev was so big. His head was touching the skies. That was his hair. The Lord Nrsimhadev's hair was touching the skies, the clouds. That's what is the description given. And Hiranyakashipu was just like a little bee trying to attack the huge elephant. Okay, so now when Hiranyakashipu was trying like that, beating, like it's like a bee touching a small little bee touching an elephant, right? So it was nothing. Hiranyakashipu was not, sorry, Nrsimhadev was not feeling anything out of it, and he just saw that Hiranyakashipu, and he just caught hold of him within his hands. He caught hold of him in a hand like an eagle. Like this is the description given. Let's think about an eagle. When eagle sees a snake right on the bottom, just comes down, catches the within seconds, like within sub-seconds, that eagle, we don't know where the eagle was, but it comes, grabs the snake and gets up. That is the force, that is the speed of the eagle. So similarly, Nrsimhadev, Lord Nrsimhadev, he just caught hold of Hiranyakashipu like that in his hands. What was he doing? And Hiranyakashipu was trying to, remember, like, try to imagine the situation. Hiranyakashipu was trying to get out of this. Like, he wanted to get out of the hold of Nrsimhadev. And he was trying to, like, move all his body parts to get out of that. He was trying to escape from the hold of Nrsimhadev. Then there is a beautiful explanation. Please remember, Narada Muni is giving the story. And in that, when he was explaining that story, where was he explaining the story? The story was explained or narrated in Rajasuya Yagna. Who was sitting in the Rajasuya Yagna? Lord Krishna himself was sitting there. Lord Balram was listening to the stories or the narration of what happened, the past times. So there is nothing wrong, or there is no lies in here. So Narada Muni was telling, and Lord himself, Lord Krishna and his brother Dauji was sitting there and listening to the story. So that is the context, or that is the situation, or that is the circumstance we're talking about. The situation is so Narada Muni explains that Nrsimhadev wanted to play with that Hiranyakashipu. For example, the example again given is that eagle and the snake. When the eagle carries the snake, the hold of eagle in the claws of the snake, like claws, is very strong. The eagle's hand holds the snake very strong. Snake cannot escape at any instance, but sometimes eagle wants to take a fun, like, okay, it says loosens up the claw a little bit, and the snake thinks that, oh, I got an opportunity to run. But no, in the similar way, Nrsimhadev just loosened up a little bit Hiranyakashipu. Then Hiranyakashipu was thinking, oh, I got the full opportunity, and he just jumps. He tries to jump, and then Nrsimhadev holds, like, tightens his hold. And then after some time, he leaves him, and he fights with Hiranyakashipu. The main reason for the Hiranyakashipu's appearance or birth in this material world is because Lord wanted to have that virya that fighting ras. After fighting for some time, Bhagavatam says this. So after fighting for some time, Hiranyakashipu was caught hold again by Lord Nrsingadev, and he carried him towards the doorstep of that assembly, and he put him, put him on the lap. He put him on the lap, tightly hold with the support of the lap and the hands, and he tore apart the body of Hiranyakashipu with his nails. Okay, when the body was let's say if there is some fluid or some juice or something like that in the bottle, and we just tear apart, what happens? If you tear apart that container of that juice, splitters, right? It just splashes out. Similarly, Hiranyakashipu's body, when Nrsingadev just punctured the body of Hiranyakashipu, the blood from the Hiranyakashipu splashed all over, and some blood was splashed on the mane close to the mouth of Nrsingadev. And it explains, Srimad Bhagavatam explains that Nrsingadev extended his tongue to taste the blood. So this is the description, so deep. This is the description it was given. So when he tasted the blood, and then he just opened, teared apart the intestines, and he wore them as a garland on his neck, Nrsingadev, and then he plucked the heart out of Hiranyakashipu and threw it away. That is the death of Hiranyakashipu. So that is Lord Nrsingadev's killing of Hiranyakashipu. Now, even after seeing all this, right, there are some people, they're very dedicated. I see in some, I don't want to name the states, but in some countries or states, we see that even though they know that politicians are bad, that politician is the horrible one, but still they support him. Just for their, I don't know, they have that dedication. They have that, I don't know, what do you call it? Yeah, they have that that faith in that leader, and somehow they get that, and they really support. Similarly, in this situation, when Hiranyakashipu is dead, Nrsingadev is killing him. They saw all these things, but the supporters of Hiranyakashipu, they rose and they started coming towards, or they started coming to charge against Nrsingadev. Nrsingadev kills all of them with his. Does he have a weapon? No. He was killing all the associates of Hiranyakashipu with his nails. Garjantam, Garjantam, Nijabujapatalam, Spotayantam, Hatantam, Rupayantam, Tapayantam, Divividitijam, Kshepayantam, Kshipantam, Krandantam, Roshayantam, Divividitijam, Kshepayantam, Kshipantam. Yeah. Vikshantam, Purnayantam, Karnikrasater, Divya Simham Namami. So Nrsingadev, he was ferocious. He was so angry, right? He was killing left and right all these associates. Nrsingadev was very strong, with his nails, he was tearing apart each and every one of them. So he was throwing, some bodies are going on the sky, some bodies are going on falling on the earth. He was just killing, aggressiveness, the anger in him was like that. And then after seeing that all of them were dead, Nrsingadev went and sat on the throne of Hiranyakashipu. Throne was at a certain height, and when Nrsingadev went and sat on the throne of Hiranyakashipu, he was still angry. He was still trying to see if anyone wants to move and they want to charge against him. So that is Nrsingadev. Nrsingadev was very angry. The anger that was created because of the atrocities that were performed against his dear devotee Prahlad Maharaj. Right? 5-year-old boy, who can treat him like that just because he's following some other thing? That is not a fair thing, right? So that is Nrsingadev. When Nrsingadev was ferocious like that, and he sees no one is coming, he was still angry. Then Brahmaji started praying to him, "My Lord, these modes of material nature doesn't affect you. What are the modes? Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance, right? And these are not affect, they don't affect you, and you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You always come to protect these protect your devotees. Please cool down. That's what Brahmaji said. No effect on Nrsimhadev. Then they asked Lakshmiji Brahmaji asked Lakshmiji to go and approach my Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nrsimhadev there. And Lakshmiji was thinking, my Lord or my husband Vishnu or Narayana is Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Shuresham. That's what I have seen. Shantakaram is very peaceful. Lord Narayana is a peaceful, he is very peaceful. Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam is supposed to be lying on the snake, Bhujaga, snake or Ananta. He is lying on the Ananta. He is supposed to be lying on Ananta. Padmanabham, there should be a lotus flower that should sprout from his navel, right? Suresham, he is always auspicious. But I haven't seen my husband in this form before. How can I face him like this? And Lakshmi Devi didn't dare to go in front of Nrsimhadev in that form at that point. So Lakshmi Devi didn't go. Now comes Shiva. Shiva also prays. He prays to Lord Nrsimha. There is one verse. Okay, and Lord Indra prays. Many other Kinnaras, Gandharvas, there are like lot of people, lot of demigods who came down from the different higher planets. They all prayed to Lord Nrsimhadev. No change. Nrsimhadev was ferocious, was just ferocious. Then comes our Prahlad Maharaj. Then Brahmaji thinks that Lord has taken this form for the benefit of Prahlad Maharaj. And Brahmaji went to Prahlad Maharaj and asked Prahlad Maharaj to approach Lord or pacify the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj was 5-year-old boy, and the form of the Lord is ferocious. But do you think Prahlad Maharaj was scared to go? No, because Prahlad Maharaj is a devotee of the Lord. For example, if you see the lion is ferocious when the lion is killing other animals, ferocious, doesn't care for anyone. The presence of lion itself looks like just that one roar of lion will scare away all the other animals in the jungle. But at the same moment, if the cub comes to the lion, do you think cub is scared of his father? No way. Cub jumps on his father and plays around with the mane of his father. Similarly, when Nrsimhadev is ferocious, when Nrsimhadev is killed all other demons, and he was ferocious, he was roaring and making all those threatening sounds, Prahlad Maharaj was not scared because he's a cub of that lion. For him, Lord Nrsimhadev came. So Prahlad Maharaj had no fear at all. As I said, even though the lion is fighting with other animals with that ferocity, the cub doesn't feel any fear from the father. He jumps on the father, and he may play with the father at that point of time for that cub. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj went to Nrsimhadev, and he started praying. He just fell down first, full Dandavat Pranam to Lord Nrsimhadev, and Lord Nrsimhadev placed his hand on the head of Prahlad Maharaj. It says that whenever Lord placed the hand on the head of a devotee, that gives a protection. That means that takes out all kinds of fear from the fear, and it gives all auspiciousness, mangalam. So it is all auspiciousness for the devotee. So that's what Prahlad Maharaj felt when Lord Nrsimhadev touched his head. Similarly, another example is Dhruva Maharaj, when he was watching the Lord in his heart, he was weaving the 400 form of the Lord continuously while performing these austerities for 6 months, right? Suddenly, when Lord appeared in front of him, right, that form of that Lord disappeared from his heart. Dhruva became restless because he was trying to find all these months, all like for few months, he was having that Lord in his like bound that like bound by the vision of the Lord in his heart. But suddenly that vision of the Lord has disappeared. Now, where is that Lord? He got restless. His eyes were closed. Then he moved his eyes. He was not finding. He was trying to find the Lord in his heart. That Lord who was existing for the months, he was not there anymore. And then he opened his eyes. The moment he opened his eyes, the same form of the Lord whom he was watching in the heart that appeared in front of him. When he saw the Lord, there were no words to speak. There is nothing coming out, because he had desired to become a bigger king than his great grandfather, Lord Brahmaji. But when Lord touched his head with a conch, the knowledge of this whole universe just entered into his mind, and then he started praying to the Lord. So the touch of the Lord is very important. It gives or brings, first of all, the auspiciousness. It takes out the fear from the devotee, and it gives all knowledge to the devotee. So similarly, when Lord Nrsimhadev touched the head of Prahlad Maharaj felt so peaceful. So like he forgot everything. The moment he touched, there was no desires left. First of all, Prahlad Maharaj never had a desire. And now, if there was anything also, everything was left. Nothing was there in his mind, and he completely became pure, and he started glorifying the Lord. Next conversation is about for 30 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam. Completely, one after another, he was glorifying the Lord. Then Nrsimhadev asks Prahlad Maharaj, my dear Prahlad, tell me what you want. Ask me anything. I have come in this form. I have came in this form just for you. So please ask any boon you want. Whatever boon you want, ask me. Then Prahlad Maharaj said, my dear Lord, you are the, I have no desire, first of all, and a devotee should not have a desire. It's like ahaituki apratihata. My devotion for you is ahaituki, self-motivation. It is done without any self-motivation, and apratihata, without interruption. Please remember, this Prahlad Maharaj was being tortured by the soldiers again and again and again in different forms, not one form. He was put into fire. It was as I said before, there were multiple forms. They're experts in torturing the living entities, right? Soldiers. So that expertise, they used all their expertise to torture the Prahlad Maharaj. For what? Just to tell Prahlad Maharaj, saying that, okay, just say that your father is a supreme personality of God. Just accept it. How hard is it for Prahlad Maharaj to accept it? How hard is for anyone to say, okay, Dad, you are the supreme personality of God, and that to his father, right? All the opulences that his father has accumulated, right? All this will become yours. But Prahlad Maharaj was not like that. Even after going through so much of torture, he didn't budge for the demand, a simple demand that, accept your father as a supreme person. No, he didn't do that. So that is the level of apratihata, uninterrupted. He was put into multiple conditions. No matter what the condition is, he was not interrupted with that condition, because his faith on the Lord was so much so that Lord had to come down. So that is the faith we should imbibe in ourselves, my dear devotees. The Lord's faith, or the believing that Lord is available for our protection, or believing that Lord is a supreme personality of Godhead, will not go waste. Have just that faith Prahlad Maharaj had, right? So this is what Prahlad Maharaj is saying, my devotion to you, my Lord, is apratihata and ahaituki. Apratihata means without self-motivation. I don't have any self-motivation. I just want to I just want to have your faith. So if you really want to give me something, I know just by your vision, just by looking at you, my father got purified. If you see the Lord, right, the purification starts right there. The same thing when we see the deities, when we go to Mangalarti, see the deities, that purification, it's not us going and taking the effort and all the stuff, just by the vision of the Lord. When the Lord sees at you, looks at you, all our impurities will become purified, all our sins will be cleansed just by the vision of the Lord. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying these words. He's saying that just by your vision, my father has purified. But what I'm trying to ask is, if there are any sinful activities, he behaved very badly. He has tortured many souls in this world. So if he has, please forgive his sinful activities he has performed. That's what Prahlad Maharaj is saying. Then Lord Nrsimhadev says, Prahlad, what are you talking about? The moment my nails touched his body, right? His sins were all cleared. Forget about him. 21 generations of your forefathers got cleared, cleansed. All the sinful activities is cleansed. Now the question comes, 21 generations? What are we talking about? Hiranyakashipu is the son of Kashyapa Muni. Kashyapa Muni is the son of Brahmaji. Right? Where are the 21 generations we are talking about? Does anyone has to take a guess here? You know what Nrsimhadev said, that 21 generations of your forefathers have been cleared, or sins of those generations got cleared and they got elevated. Okay, now where are the 21 generations? Hiranyakashipu came, and Hiranyakashipu's father was Kashyapa Muni, and Kashyapa Muni's father was Brahmaji. There were only 3 generations. So where are the other 18 forefathers? What is Lord talking about here? So Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that a soul, let's say Hiranyakashipu, right? Hiranyakashipu was Jaya and Vijaya. Okay, and Jaya and Vijaya achieved that Paramapadi, or the best location of Vaikunta. Right now they got the Vaikunta, and before they were in the Vaikunta, they must be a Jiva. Okay, that Jiva may have the forefathers, and those were also got cleared. Those were also delivered. That is the mercy of the Lord. When Lord killed Hiranyakashipu with his nails, forget about these three generations of the forefathers and the previous births of the soul, though they were also got delivered just because of touching, because of the touch of the nail of the Lord Nrsimhadev. So that is what Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport. Now, can you believe that? So Srila Prabhupada quotes there, when a devotee like Prahlad Maharaj appears in takes birth in a family, this not only your family, or not only the family which you know, they will get delivered, but the deliverance is for a long time. Now generations will get delivered. So we should all pray, and we should also have we should all pray for, or we should make an effort to become a devotee, or to make our children devotees, so that this will get they will not only us, it's not because like we have to get delivered, but the benefits of becoming taking up the devotional service is much higher than any other activities in this world. So that is what Nrsimhadev says, and Nrsimhadev was very pleased with Prahlad Maharaj. Then the story, like Prahlad Maharaj prays, he gives multiple verses describing the beautiful qualities of Nrsimhadev, Lord Narayana, and the conversation goes to some other topics. Now, that being said, there is a Jambudipa in the 5th canto. It explains that Jambudipa is separated into different varshas. So in that varsha, one varsha is called as Hari Varsha. Okay, in Hari Varsha, Prahlad Maharaj lives there, and he with other living entities or other inhabitants of Harivarsha, they pray to Lord Narasimhadev. In that one, Srimad Bhagavatam explains 5.18.8. Okay, so if you see this verse, the verse is a prayer to Lord Narasimhadev. So please recite after me. We'll recite this verse. This is very nice verse, and then we'll go for the realization, sharing the realizations and any other things. Okay. So the verse is, please unmute yourself and repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate
Om Namo Bhagavate
Narasimhaya. Okay, let me actually, sorry, let me open that verse so that we can all chant. Five, 18. Okay, so can you see this verse?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya.
Namaste Tejase.
Namaste
Tejas,
Tejase.
Tejase.
Avir Bhava.
Avir
Bhava.
Bhava.
Vajranaka Vajratramstra.
Vajranaka
Vajradamstra.
Vajradamstra.
Karmashayam Randaya.
Karmashayan
Karmashayan
Randaya.
Dandaya.
Tamo Grasa.
Tamo Grasa.
Om Swaha.
Om
Om
Swaha.
Swaha.
Abhayam.
Abhayam Ahayam.
Atmani Bhuyishta.
Atmani Bhuyishta.
Om Shram.
Om Shram.
Let's repeat. Let's recite 2 times. Okay, 2 more times. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya.
Namaste Tejase.
Namaste
Tejase.
Tejase.
Avir Bhava.
Avir
Bhava.
Vajranaka Vajratramstra.
Vajranaka Vajradamstra.
Karmashayan Randaya.
Karmashayan Randaya.
Tamo Grasa.
Tamo Grasa.
Om Swaha.
Om Swaha.
Abhayam Atmani.
Abhayam
Abhayam
Atmani.
Atmani.
Bhuyishta Om Shram.
Bhuyishta Om Shram.
Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Narasimhaya.
Namaste Tejase.
Namaste
Tejase.
Tejase.
Avir Bhava.
Avir Bhava.
Vajranaka Vajratramstra.
Vajranaka Vajradamstra.
Karmashayam Randaya.
Karmashayan Randaya.
Tamo Grasa.
Tamo Grasa.
Om Swaha.
Om Swaha.
Abhayam Atmani.
Abhayam Atmani.
Bhuyishta Om Shram.
Bhuyishta Om Shram.
So purport. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Narasimhadev, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possess nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for futile activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. Okay. Thank you all for joining this class. Please open up and share any realizations you have, anything to add, delete, or anything about this class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Kishore Prabhu. A wonderful narration. So yeah, go ahead, devotees. Anyone has questions?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. It was a wonderful narration, just like Prabhuji said. My question is like when you're talking about liberation, when Narshingadev said that generations are liberated. We've like heard that before also. And we talk about different kinds of liberations all the time in these classes, which I'm not like very clear about. But so when he says generations are liberated, so what kind of liberation do these people get? Like say Hiranyakashipu, without any effort his entire life, or like maybe his forefathers, or what kind of like liberation do they get? Is my question clear?
Yes, Mataji, it's clear. So your question is like when Lord liberates, especially the Hiranyakashipu and the forefathers.
Yeah, without they have not made any effort in their entire life for bhakti, no bhakti at all.
Very nice.
So
yeah. So the thank you for the question, Mataji. I was just thinking about the question and the realization. So what there are multiple, actually 5 of the liberations we can get. Okay, Sayuja and Sarupya and other things. But the liberation the devotees will get is according to their desires, okay, or according to their qualification also. Okay. First point is there are multiple. I was thinking there are multiple points here. So let me address the first point that you mentioned that they haven't done anything, even though they're sinful. How can they get the liberation, or what kind of liberation they get? So it says, as I said, mentioned in that in the class, that when a devotee is born, that the birth of the devotee itself clears all the sinful reactions for all these forefathers. You know what I mean? That's what Narshingadev has mentioned there, right? So what is the qualification to get back to the or to get into the liberation? The qualification is there should not be any sinful reaction. That means you're in the mode of goodness, and in the mode of goodness you perform some activities, then you'll get to the transcendental, into the mode of transcendence, and from there you get a liberation. Then it's a choice, or it's a selection of the Lord to take him. It's a choice, or it's Lord who takes a decision. It's a decision of the Lord to take a devotee back or not. Okay, that's the first point I want to mention here. The second point is like the liberation depends upon the qualification of the other person, or the desire of that person, right? For example, in the case of Hiranyakashipu, especially in the case of Shishupal, when he was killed, he got a Saripya Mukti, right? That's what he entered. Sayuja Mukti. He entered into the body of the Lord himself, right? So, but he was supposed to be Jaya and Vijaya. Do you understand? Jaya and Vijaya, they came down, but we are talking about Shishupal entering the body of the Lord. How is it possible? Yes, Jaya and Vijaya, right? They're supposed to go back. Their desire was, Lord, we want to serve you. We want to come back quickly so that we can serve you in the Vaikuntha as a Jaya and Vijaya, as servants. So even though it says that, even though momentarily, Prabhupada explains that, even though momentarily Shishupal has entered the body of the Lord as a Sayuja Mukti, but he stayed in that liberated state for some time, and he was transformed, or he was brought back into the service of guarding the doors, or becoming the doorkeepers, because the desire of that Shishupal was like that. So my understanding here is that when the liberation, it all depends upon the desire of the devotee, what you desire for, or what you qualify for. For example, if I desire, if sannyasi, or if an austere person, of a muni, he is aspiring to become one with the Lord, and he goes to the forest and he's performing all these activities, austerities, to become one with the Lord, then he'll become one with the Lord. He gets that he enters the effulgence of the Lord. Do you understand? So that is the example where. So my understanding here is that it depends upon the desire and the qualification of the devotee who is aspiring for the liberation, who got that liberation, that determines their final destination. Does it help, Mataji?
Haribol Prabhuji, sorry, I was
Yeah.
so like, and I'm going to say it in Hindi, you know, अगर जैसे हिरण्यकश्यप है, right?
Mhm.
उनका तो कोई desire ही नहीं है, like spiritual desire. Like, you know, like what kind, he doesn't even want to listen to the name of the Lord.
Then
So you are saying कि spiritual desire पे depend होता है, desire of the person, you know, right?
desire or the qualification of the person.
Oh yeah,
Two things.
qualification.
So if someone is like, for example, if someone wants to go to Goloka Vrindavan, what is the qualification required there?
Right, devotional service, bhakti.
Devotional service and the service to, and that attachment to the Lord, as we talked about, right? Ahutiki and apratihata. There should not be any selfish motivation, and there should not be any interruption in the devotional service, right? No
Right,
matter
but that
what
is, we are
Krishna-
talking, sorry,
Yeah,
we are talking about devotees there.
Mhm.
I'm talking about Hiranya, people like Hiranyakashyap.
So
You know, कि जिसमें बिल्कुल भगवान का नाम भी नहीं सुना, you know, like kind of राक्षसी or so उनका कैसे, उनमें तो कोई desire है ही नहीं. They don't have that desire. They don't even want to hear the name of the Lord.
right, Mataji. So
Yeah.
there are two things: Hiranyakashipu and the forefathers. Okay, so let's separate them. Hiranyakashipu, for sure, he became a Jayan Vijaya. He went back, maybe whatever liberation he had, and he went back and became Jayan Vijaya. So let's forget about Hiranyakashipu. The other living entities are the other forefathers. I don't know what, or I have no one has written anywhere like what they have become. But my understanding is like according to their qualification, Lord might have put some kind of liberation, and he said it, so he has done it. I don't know what kind of liberation they got.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
To the things what you responded to Mataji,
Mhm.
even though Hiranyakashipu is a demon, but his thoughts are always against Krishna, and he is chanting Krishna continuously, always thinking, I have to fight against him, I have to kill him. These are the things, but still he is continuously thinking about him. This is one of the things I felt would have made him to go to the Goloka, because he is also constantly chanting indirectly or directly the Lord.
That's true, Prabhu. Narada Muni mentions that also in the same canto. So in the same conversation, he mentions that when he was talking about Kansa, he mentions that Kansa was always thinking about the Lord in a negative way. So Narada Muni mentions that sometimes I feel that thinking about Lord negative way is faster to achieve Lord than the people who are doing devotional service. Narada Muni mentions this in the verse. So
Correct.
one thing. But in reality, Hiranyakashipu's desire was to become Jaya. He was Jaya before. Okay, Hiranyaksha was Vijaya, so he became Jaya. Okay. Okay. Sachi Rani Mataji. Yeah, Mataji, please go ahead.
Prabhu, this is Amritanandas. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Prabhupada. Love your class, Prabhu. It's so simple and direct to the point. Prabhu, if I may be permitted, I can share Jayadvaita Maharaj's answer to a similar question which Shachimata had asked.
Sure, Prabhuji.
So-
That's good. Yeah.
So Maharaj had said, the question was something similar, but we can make a parallel. That knowledge and detachment, proper knowledge, Divya Gyan, and detachment can cut all the knots of, we are bandha, right? We are tied with our desires, and that's the reason why we are in this circle of birth and death. So it can cut all those anarthas, and you get straight away liberation. And of course, as you rightly said, these different types of liberations is based on the person's desire. So the question asked to Maharaj was, is knowledge or detachment or anything else necessary to get out of all this? So Maharaj said, no. It is Krishna's supreme will. Krishna can do as he pleases. If he wants, he can take the most wretched Rakshasa or whatever person and take him straight back. If he wants, he can liberate him. So it is his desire. And all these other things are practices for us who are so conditioned as a sure shot way to get over there. So yes, you need whatever are the prescribed sadhana, etc. And you're assured. But if Krishna wants, he can straight away bypass. He's the ultimate authority and he does as he pleases. So similarly, as there are people whom we may feel are wretched and they are not at all devotees. Kamsa was thinking all the time, as Prabhu said. Shishupal was thinking negatively all the time. So that they still met a condition of thinking. But Krishna can take someone who doesn't even think about him.
Right.
If he desires, so he that way. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you for adding that, Prabhuji. Yes, as I said, it's a decision of Krishna at the end. Doesn't matter because he owns everything, right? I mean, let's say there are like thousands of prisoners in the in a country, a small country. In a country, there are thousands of prisoners. The president of that country can have that will or that decision making power to release 100 like like whatever the prisoners, 100 prisoners, he just released them because of let's say 50th anniversary of independence. They release 100 prisoners, just pick and choose and release. Why? If a president of a country, a small little, this world has many countries, and out of many countries, there's a small little country. In the country, one president, if he has that much power to release these prisoners, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he owns the whole universe. Each and every atom, as I said in the class, cannot move or cannot participate or cannot have a shape or form without the Lord himself, without the presence of the Lord, right? So much, he wants so much. Everything is his own things. So why can't he have that discretion of taking anyone just like that? No, he has that power. He has that. He can do anything what he wants to do because everything belongs to him. The other day I was mentioning, if someone says that I have an ego, that means we are all have false ego. We say the ego what we portray or what we show is a false ego because we don't own anything of this ego. But if Krishna has an ego, that is the real ego, because everything belongs to him. Everything his own thing. He built the whole universes, not one universe, like millions of universes that comes out from his pores of the body. So that person has that ability or the power to release. Let's say he 21 generations is what count? Tell me. There are like the material world is only 1/3 of the spiritual world, 3/4 worlds. There are so many already. 3/4 of the devotees already there. He just takes another 21 generations. It doesn't make any difference for him, right? There are like millions of people, and out of that he just took 21 generations. So that is the Krishna has that power to make a decision to really want to take or not take. It depends upon Krishna. Any other points?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for wonderful narration of Narsingh Leela. Like in one of the kathas I just heard, Vishnu, he was just there in Vaikuntha. He was thinking about the Veer Ras, because he was having all the rasas but Veer Ras, and he wanted to fight, and he just made that everything. Leela is happened that Sanat Kumar came and they got the curse and they came. So I miss my realization. I was just sharing they were doing, even they were enemy of the Lord on this earth, but they were doing for the pleasure of the Lord. So finally they will get to go back to Godhead only.
Right, Mataji. So that's a very good point, Mataji, and good realization. See, the ultimate reason for all reasons is Krishna himself. Okay. Now the question is, if Krishna himself is like, why they have to fight so hard? Why they have to oppose so hard? That because when they come in the character, especially Nrsimhadev also, when Lord Nrsimhadev was in the character, he should have thought, okay, I'm Nrsimhadev, I'm Vishnu anyway, I'm gonna kill. He's Jaya, my servant, so I'll take him back. No, it's not like that. When they are performing that act, the act should be performed in with the depth. Like when you perform a drama, right? For Janmashtami, that the player should have that feeling. He's there in that character. Then only that drama looks good, and then only that drama has that life. If the character is, let's say the character is cow, and he is not even paying attention, he's the character is going around here and there, not paying, not involving in that play or in that character, then there is no fun. So similarly, Jaya and Vijaya, when they came as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, they act, they become Hiranyakashipu. They show what is Hiranyakashipu. That is, Nrsingadev comes, he shows what is Nrsingadev. That's how the pleasure of the devotee, the pleasure of the Lord comes from that, by watching them, by hearing the stories. That gives us faith that Lord is there to protect. So yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Pranam, Prabhupada. I also wanted to just make the point about how Hiranyakashipu, he didn't have any qualification, as in he didn't think about the Lord, but because he was connected to Prahlad, and Prahlad is a pure devotee, he also got the blessings from that to have a qualification to get liberated.
That's a very nice point, Majid. Yeah, that's what I was telling, that a devotee is born in a family that qualifies, that one thing qualifies you for, it removes all the sins. That's what Srila Prabhupada said, right? Have one sannyasi in a family. That's it. That one sannyasi can elevate or deliver all the generations of the people. So in this case, like we're talking about the previous life, previous generation, that people also got delivered just because. Say if we question why sugar is sweet, there is no answer for it. You know what I mean? If we start questioning why water is liquid, we don't have an answer for it, because that's the nature of that is the nature of that product. The nature of the sugar is being sweet. Similarly, the nature of having a devotee in a family is that the sins were delivered. Why the sins were? They don't have a qualification that they didn't pray to Krishna. They didn't meditate upon Krishna. How can the sins go away? The quality of, or the qualification, or the nature of having a devotee in the family is that the sins get removed. That's it. That's the nature. So there is no point on how they get delivered. So that's another thing.
Thank you. I think we'll conclude with announcements. Is that okay? Or anyone else has?
Yeah, thank you, Krishna, for
joining. So tomorrow, Monday is Ekadashi. Today Sunday feast is on. Please join for Sunday feast program, 5:30 to 9. Then tomorrow, Monday is Ekadashi, Mohini Ekadashi, fasting from grains and beans. And Tuesday, Parna time, I think we're looking at 5:37 or 5 to 10 or 7, I think. 5:39, 10 or 9. Just need to double check our temple calendars. May 4th, Narsingha Chaturdasi is the fasting till dusk, and then Ekadashi. So program will start at 6 o'clock, 6 to 6:30. Abhishek is only on the altar. Only Pujari will do. Devotees can observe it. Narsingha Puran and Hari Bhakti Vilas talks about that, how to observe Narsingha Chaturdasi. If anybody wants to know the details, send me a message. That is fasting till dusk. That is May 4th. And then, 6 to 6:30 is Abhishek, 6:30 to 7, offering. Then the 7 o'clock is Aarti, main Aarti. 7 to 7:30, 7:30 to 8:30 or so is the Yajna, then Prasadam. Please join, very, very important event. You can sponsor Aarti or Prasadam or Abhishek, Yajna, so whatever way you like to do. So please let us know or post a message in Japatan with your sponsorship if you like to. So thank you very much. And also next day after Narsingha Chaturthi is also important day. Radha Raman deity, Shri Radha Raman deity's appearance, Avirbhav, Gopal Bhatta Goswami's deity. And so Lord appeared from Shaligram Sila. So very important day as well. That's also Madhavendra Puri's appearance and Srinivasa Acharya's appearance day. And there is a lunar eclipse that day. I think it's in the morning time. It's not sure if it is visible or not, but to try to follow the standard regulations of the eclipse to increase the chanting of the holy name. That is the best principle we can have. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Indra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktam ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Hari.